online, and I wanted, they sent me a message that they couldn't hear.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I want to throw a question to our social workers in the house who are the guests.
Online, and I wanted, they sent me a message that they couldn't hear.
Okay, that was. I think somebody was playing their audio. So Fatima, listening to our guests, our survivors, you are listening to their concerns, especially in Sierra Leone. The things that are happening, they are more protecting the perpetrators, and they don't listen to us as ever. You know, what do you think in your expertise? What is your suggestion? Is there any suggestion you think you can make to the government? What can they put in place that you think can work for sexual abuse victims? Sorry.
Well, first of all, I would like to say I'm sorry to all three of you who went through sexual abuse. I think what they need is probably more social workers to come in, and like what Khadija said too, like a woman activists too. I think they need more of those people in the country to advocate, and also social workers to work to protect these kids and also women. Because I remember I believe it was like a month ago, there was a maybe you guys will know this story, but maybe I think she was like 7 years old, and I believe that was her grandfather who raped her.
Yes.
So and I was really disturbed by that, because I was like, if it was in America, it would have been a different story. But like what Dr. Josephine said, the family, of course, will go and beg and said, oh, please, and in that case, that's what they started doing for that little girl. They was begging the older guy who did it, which this was like a grandfather to her. And I was really upset and emotional, disturbed, because I was like, come on, a 7-year-old, what does she know? Why would you do that to her, And then the family, I can hear the video, the family in the background saying, oh, he didn't mean to do that, and it was just like, what? Like, are you serious? And so I think they need to put more laws. Like, if you do this, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna serve your time in jail for how long it is, just like in America. And also, I think the family, especially the parents, and sometimes when the kids come to them and tell them, uncle, such and such uncle, or my grandfather, or my stepdad, or this person touched me, we don't believe them. We push them away. We don't basically trust what they're saying. And this is what I think. Also, they need to educate the parents in Africa to listen to their kids when they come and talk to them and tell them that this uncle did this to me. They should listen to them instead of just shun them away, go do so, go, you just lying, move away from here. I think they need to educate the parents also on this, on sexual abuse. And like what I said earlier, probably more social workers who can work with the family and work with the kids in Sierra Leone. Yeah. And hopefully the president will work towards, getting that help. And people were willing, like social workers and experts were willing to work with those family in Sierra Leone.
you very much. Thank you, Miss Sharon. I'm sorry. Thank you very much for that input. I'm going to refer my question again to Mrs. Madana Ganda. I know you are working with behavior people, and we all know when a victim or when a child has been molested or an adult has been molested, everybody got their own different way they handle trauma. Yeah. Everybody exhibits different behaviors. Like for me, when mine happened, I actually just shut down. I was quiet, in school, but I was again cheerful. Cheerful, it means when I'm outside, you can never tell I was deeply hurting inside. I was this clown, always going around making my friends laugh in class. I'm always making fun to make people laugh. And I always say, I think that was my own method of coping, making myself happy. Mm-hmm. So when I make people laugh, that was how I was having happiness. So I want you to tell me, from your own knowledge, how can, especially our people, our illiterate people back in Africa, I bet if I hadn't told my mother about what was going on, she would have never found out what was going on with me. So what kind of behaviors, what kind of signs do you think, especially our people who didn't go to school, they are not educated, what kind of signs or behaviors do you think they should be watching out for in especially our children?
Yeah, I'm so sorry about everyone that have gone through such situation. As we know, Africa is 1 out of 10, I would say, that they didn't go through what everyone here is explaining, whether it's by forcefully or it's by because they call it consensual, but sometimes it's not. The people don't agree to it. Like kids don't have that maturity to say, yes, this is right or this is wrong. They happen to just do it because they don't have another choice, which is still sexual abuse. But because they don't know that that's sexual abuse, they just agree to it. So people think it's consensual, but it's not. So I'm sorry about that, because we all, I would say, has gone through it one way or the other. Because I remember when I was little, I almost got raped for milk. Just milk.
Wow.
And people put the blame on me. I was castigated in the whole environment. They think that I was the fault to even get to the person's room. But I just see it as if we were all together in the same house. So if we grew up together, I happen to see that I am comfortable with you. So if I go to you for anything, I don't think you should try to hurt me. So I have that confidence, and I went there and I get hurt. And I kept silent, because those are the things that we should look out for. Silence. People don't communicate. People don't talk because you feel like they're going to put all the blame on you, so I can't say anything. People feel reserved, like they're just withdrawn. They're just quiet. They don't want to say it so that they don't get, they don't have people that will talk about them in the environment, in the community. In Africa, once you say you are raped, people think that you are lying. You accept it. It happened to you because you wanted it, but it's not. There are so many things that is happening, even in the university. And people use it as revenge. Some women will use it as revenge. Because me, when I was growing up, I thought that sexual consent is just when the person want to give you something, so you have to accept the money or something. What you give to them back is sex. I never knew that it's something that you willingly do, and you should be able to feel good about it. I thought it's just about exchange. You give me what I want, I give you what you want.
Wow.
So people they use it as revenge on people. Even in Africa, you would think that they're doing it because they want to do it, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
They just see men as anybody they use them as a prey. These men are willing to use us, so let's get what we want from them. And that's a revenge. And that's happening in Sierra Leone. It's happening a lot. It's happening in the universities. It's happening. People go from school to school. They do it. They do it to the teachers because they want to get grades. They say, if the teacher gave me grade, I'm going to give them my body. But they don't want to. It's because of this sexual abuse that they've been through. That's why they're using it. They say, well, if I use my body now, I'm going to get a profit out of it. But I don't get anything from it. So people use it as revenge. People use it to get what they want, as they say, but it's not. They don't even feel good about it, but they just have to do it. I remember when I was in university in Sierra Leone, a girl told me that once my degree is written, Bachelor of Science of Economics, that's all I want. But keep sleeping with this man is not the answer to it. But they don't know how to go about it. Because if you don't say yes, they're going to fail you. You're going to get F, and you're going to keep repeating yourself in one class until you get frustrated. So what they're going to do is use their own body that they have to get it. And that's bad. So people have to listen. We have to open our ears to listen. Even if you don't go to school, you don't know how to communicate with your child, first of all, observe your child. Make sure you know your child. Make sure you know your child. Then nobody tell you about your child. You need to know your child. If you don't know your child, anybody that come and tell you about your child is making a mistake. It's making a mistake. You need to know your child, because some child don't communicate through voice. They communicate through withdrawal, silence, and behaviors. Certain child, they just be stubborn. You think they want to be stubborn? No, they don't. They are communicating to you.
Right.
But you will not understand until you know who your child is. People don't study their child, and that's the frustration about it. You need to know your child. So with all this, it's just 1 out of 10 in Sierra Leone that is not going through this, or in the whole world. So we need to observe our children and know what is going on.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Ganda. I have our sister here, Janet Kamara. She's listening through audio. I don't know if we all can see her, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
We can see her.
Oh, you see her? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm sorry.
She's a social worker, and that's my best friend, you guys. I invited her because she also needs to give her own iced tea on what we're talking about.
Okay. Thank you, my camera sister. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
I've been listening all this, but can you tell me a little bit about yourself and why you think? I know probably if Khadija would have told you, can you ever invite you and you say, oh, I'm not interested in that topic. What actually attracted you to this topic to come and join us?
Well, first of all, the topic said, I think, something about taboos that we're not able to talk about or so. I think that's very capturing, you know.
Thank you.
That alone kind of wanted me to come on and join.
Thank you.
But I've actually been enjoying the discussion so far. And Dr. Ladipo is actually my auntie. Hi, Auntie Josephine.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm also a social worker. I live in Los Angeles. I'm a children's social worker. But like I was just posting, I absolutely have zero tolerance for sexual abusers. In my profession, I deal with this all the time. Sometimes I would just break down and cry because these children are going through so much. Their parents are not listening to them. And it's not just happening in Sierra Leone or Africa, it's happening even here in America. These children are being used, we call them C-sex children, children of sexual abuse, the victims. You know, they're being prostituted by even their own parents.
Yes.
And we see in Sierra Leone, in Africa too. Parents giving up their children. I have a mother on my case who happens to be from Sierra Leone, who went through this in Sierra Leone, wherein the older guy came about, started telling her mom, "Oh, I like your daughter, I like your daughter." Meanwhile, this guy was an older guy. He's in the military. This girl is a teenager, and started paying the girl's school fees and all of that. Before you think, he raped this girl, got her pregnant. He kind of came about, started dating the girl, a teenager, which is very illegal to start with. And nothing was done about it. On top of that, he raped her again and got her pregnant again, all in the name of, what she was getting from this guy. So these things are going on. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I believe that in order for us to really make a change, first of all, I don't even think people in Sierra Leone understand and know that sexual abuse is illegal, or knowing the signs of sexual abuse. I think the children needs to know, like I posted, we need to have a group, an organization that can go around in schools, in different places where we have young youth, young girls, just educating them, teaching them what the signs they should look out for, you know, in sexual abuse. It could be touching you slightly, or touching your back, or trying to touch your legs. All those are all sexual abuse. It doesn't have to be um, having an actual sex. You understand? So if these kids or these girls know the signs that they should look out for, maybe they might detach themselves from this individual a bit, or start talking to someone and just encouraging them. I know in Africa we don't even encourage our kids to talk to us. Some of us never talk to our parents about things that we're going through, or growing up as a teenager, or anything like that.
Right.
There is no room for communication. We don't believe in that. We don't. It's just not done, unfortunately. Until we come here and see how things are different, we're supposed to talk to our kids, like you just stated. Someone just stated, um, parents knowing their kids. When you know your kids, no one out there can come tell you, "Oh, your kid this is so." So you know your child. You know when your child is withdrawn. You know when something is going on with your child. You know when you can tell. So we have to know our girls, to know them to the point that when something happens, when they come home from school, you look at them automatically. You know, oh, something happened today. What happened? How was your day? That's what I do with my girls. I have two girls and a boy. Every day they come home from school, I ask them, "How was school? What happened in school today? What did you eat in school?" Da da da. I ask them all these questions because I want to know. Maybe being in the profession of social work has just gotten me so, I don't know, paranoid, or just overly
Paranoid.
protective. Yeah, overly protective,
Yeah.
to the point that I ask my kids these questions each and every day, and not just the girls, the boys too. They go through these things also, unfortunately. But the girls do face these things way much more than girls. So I think the education part is one of the main things. If these girls know that if someone touches me like this, it's wrong. If someone says this thing to me, it's wrong. If they don't know it's wrong, there's no way they can tell that they're a victim. So
Yes.
the education is the biggest part. Once they're educated, the kids, both the girls and the parents, once they're educated, then the next step now is putting things in place wherein if you experience these things, you can come talk to this person, or people, just putting people in place in the community where they can go and talk to. Some kids, maybe they might not want to talk to the parents. Maybe you can have agencies in place, people in place where they can go and talk to them, having all these services. I mean, it's there's so many things we need to do in Sierra Leone. So many things. It breaks my heart when I hear these stories. I'm really, really sorry for those of you who've gone through, sexual abuse and unwanted sex, all of that, unwanted consent, all of that. I'm really, really sorry. It really breaks my heart to hear these stories. But I absolutely love this movement, and whatever I can do to be a part of this movement, I would really love that. And thank you for inviting me, Khadija.
Thank you, Janet. So I want to ask a general question. I know now we have 3 social workers here, and we have 4 survivors, including me. And I believe all of us came out late in our adulthood. Do you think um, survivors coming together as we are Do you think if we encourage more adults survivors coming out, especially in our societies in Africa, do you think that will make a difference, especially to the youth, the children growing up? Do you think adults, survivors coming out together like we are? This is a movement. I mean, I am hosting the show, but I'm in a movement. This is a movement we want to launch. As expertise, do you think this will help our children and other adults that are still quiet?
Yeah, I think to answer your question, Musu, I think definitely this will help for people who have or grown adults who have been through it. I think it will be good because that way, when they hear your story, like people watching us now maybe they will come out. They will talk about it now that they heard like, oh, Musu went through this. Oh, Dr. Joseph went through this, you know, so maybe it's time for me to come out and say and just give my experience. And that will make the younger generation, the younger kids will feel more comfortable of them telling their story as well and said, yes, I was raped, or, you know, and this person did it to me. I think it's an encouragement of when the adults come out, it will make the younger generation also wants to, I think it's a motivation basically to say, oh yeah, well, Musu went through this. I can come out, I can talk about my experience. So I think, yeah, it will be a good idea.
Can I ask Madonna?
Because if I would have had this podium before, maybe I would have said, or I would not have because growing up in life, I used to just keep quiet, don't talk, don't say nothing to anybody. Because I just feel like if I say something, people gonna misjudge me. People gonna read me wrongly. They don't understand me. They don't know me. They don't know who am I. So sometimes I just shut up and I don't speak up. So if you have this kind of podium, sometimes it help out. Mm-hmm. That's why therapists are very good. But it's not just a therapy, because therapists, maybe you think that they need money. But like this kind of movement, you don't need money for it. So you can come, express yourself, and it helps. Like it really helps. Talking about it, because your own opinion in your mind is different from other people's opinion. In your mind, you will be saying that, oh, when I say it, maybe this person is going to look at me that way. They're going to say this about me. But if you talk about it, you don't know what that other person is going through. And then based on their own experience, can enlighten you more on why you should talk about it. So it helps out. They always say it. Talking get people to release some stress. It helps out in stressful areas. So I guess this, and I hope and I pray that we'll continue to do it, because we cannot stop. Because those are the things, people start and they stop. And those are the things that will break people. So I hope we don't stop, because this is a very, very good podium to just express yourself. I've never said it to anybody. This is the first time I'm even saying it.
Oh,
and I'm only saying it here. So I hope and I pray that we continue.
All right. I see Khadija is raising your hand. Can you tell us? Khadija too? Before I get to Dr. Oladipo, do you think this is a right movement we are doing, and what can you suggest to other adults like us? Can you suggest any suggestion, like how we can come out, especially the public is dashing out to other people?
First of all, I would like first, well, I want to commend you. What's your name again? The lady that just spoke, I forgot.
Madonna.
Huh?
Madonna.
Madonna, I want to commend you for actually speaking out. And this is the goal. this is the result that we want, for people to actually speak out. Um, so thank you for being so brave to speaking out. I want us to backtrack a bit, because then we went right into it without really anybody telling their story. Just in a nutshell, because our viewers would want to know, okay, breaking the taboos. I hear you talking about rape, eradicating rape. Then what gives you the right to come on this platform to talk about it? You have told me that you went through it, but then how? Okay. And so I want to set that give that opportunity for whoever is listening that have been through it, that is going through it, to hear this. And of course, we are here because our mother, Dr. Josephine, wrote a book. At her age, she decides to face her fears. And so at the end of this broadcast, we will, before we end this broadcast, we will talk about her book, and then we will do, she's going to be raising funds for her organization with this book. So, but then let me set the table, like how they say in my country, we're Africans, let's go back to the basics. You cannot be cooking soup and then the actual Maggi, you forgot to put it in the soup. So again, my name is Karijatu Grace Aheni. I hope it's okay, Auntie Musu.
Go ahead. I wanted to make everybody comfortable, and you know, because
I am a victim, and in a nutshell, because I know you're asking, how can we fix this? Well, let me tell you my trauma, and then we all can help fix this together. There had been war in my country for 14 years, of course, we all know. During that time, I was just 14. I'm an only child to my mother, and the rebels had entered Freetown, and they were raping and abducting girls and doing all kinds of crazy things. And so my mom fought hard, as strong as she is, she fought hard to get me out of the city, Freetown, in order for them not to get to me. We were living in the barracks. We saw action where we lived was where Timothy Shelpidi, Kobe Maxwell, Dr. Julius Spencer, and all of them went into our house to disguise themselves for the helicopter to take them out and evacuate them to Lunge. So we were in the heart of the barracks where the militants were assembling. Right in front of my face, the rebel leader that entered Freetown, Tafaiko, was killed, where dogs took his body 3 times out of where he was buried. Now, my mom entrusted me. I went with family, of course. The ship, the liberation boat that came to take people to Guinea, I was one of those that happened to enter into that boat. Of course, I was there with family, but again, it was one dark night. We took 2 days to get there. It was one dark night where all the lights went out on the ship, and then we were, everybody's walking around in the boat, and somebody dragged me from the behind and put their hand on my mouth and said to me, if I open my mouth, he will throw me in the water. I'm sorry. And I had no choice, because I had no strength. He had his way and walked away. What kills me is I could not, and still don't, identify his face, but just by talking about it now, I can still smell him. When that happened, imagine I was this little girl struggling with daddy issues. There was no father in my life. It was only my mom and her sisters. And then another dark trauma happens to me. and I became really lost. I became really depressed, as everybody's saying, you cannot say this to anyone, because if you did, the first question was, Usa you been there? Where were you? What do you go do there? And so this was the first time it happened to me. When this happened, just as everybody will experience, I withdrew myself. And just sharing the same as Auntie Musu, the only way I felt good and better about myself was when I created a scene, making fun for people to laugh. That was the only time I was happy. But then when I came home to myself, I was as depressed as could be. I grew up having that wall not being broken. At age 25, I got into serious depression where I was put on Prozac. Prozac is a high-end antidepressant drug for the social workers. They can attest. Yeah. Once you take it for a certain amount of time, you start hearing and seeing things, and I almost literally went crazy. But all these people around me were so blind because they didn't even know what was going on with me. They didn't even know me. I didn't even know me. So what we are talking about here is serious, serious matter that messes a human being up for the rest of their lives. Because of my experience, I am coming out today to tell you that I find it very difficult to even enjoy sex. Because whatever little thing triggers it, if a man is coming on to you and you see or sense anything close to the violence that you've been through, it just triggers everything. And your sexual feeling is gone out of the window. And you just lay there like a log of wood to satisfy that poor man that is into your life at the moment. And so, ladies and gentlemen, viewers, those of you that are listening to us, watching us, rape is real. It is happening. Half of our African women has been through it. I was privileged to be in a meeting with our First Lady and few other prominent people talking about this same situation. Now, Ambassador Arikana says she was a former ambassador for UA. She says anybody that rapes a woman, a girl, a child should be castrated. I totally agree. But then for us to get to that point, it's going to be a hard fight. It's going to be a hard fight. It is happening under our nose every freaking day in the colleges, in the schools, in the nurseries. Little children are being touched.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like Janet says, just like my other sister said, I have 3 beautiful girls. I have one that's about to turn 8 where she's curious. I have started speaking to her because at age 8 is when they start growing. You see spots of pubic hair growing here, maturity, you see them, the maturity from them thinking as a child is actually getting to a point where their thinking makes sense. So how do we solve this problem? First of all, we speak to our children about it. There's no shame in this game. They're girls. They're going to get there. It's only a matter of time for them to get there. We need to start speaking to these children from age 8. Let them know what it's like, what shouldn't be, and all these things. The reason why half of us don't speak is even our own family members don't believe us. Like if I had told my mother, she wouldn't have believed me. She would say, which day will you get raped? Ustem, why not tell me? Well, I know you as my mother. If I had told you, you weren't going to believe me in the first place. Even when I wrote a book about it, this woman is struggling to believe me. She says to me in a calm voice, Yo-Yo, because that's the pet name she calls me, Yo-Yo, when did you get raped? Why didn't you say anything? She's struggling. The other day, when you get raped, it's like there's something that speaks to you in your head. It's like, it's okay for anybody to now come and do. You find it difficult to say no. Because the first unfortunate human being had broken that taboo and has taken it like it is theirs. So that now you, the victim, feel like you're the bad person. And you have to feel sorry for whoever is coming to do that bad to you. I lost my sense of power. I lost my sense of strength. Yeah. I felt it was okay for any brother, any man to now touch me. I felt sorry for them instead of me feeling sorry for myself. Mm-hmm. That was how messed up I was. So you that is out there that you are going through it and you think these are the 21st century, you can't keep silent anymore. That's why Dr. Josephine wrote the book. You're not alone in this. If you can't talk to anybody, you can reach out to Auntie Musu, you can reach out to Dr. Josephine, or you can reach out to myself. Now, I am part of an organization called ALO. ALO is a global organization that the women are fighting so hard. One of the things we're fighting to eradicate is rape. Mm-hmm. And we need our social workers, we need our people in developmental health, all of these people, because psychologically you become messed up. Before you know it, self-pity creeps in. Before you know it, your self-esteem has gone down. Mm-hmm. Even when you're supposed to perform right in your matrimonial bedroom, you can't do that anymore because, one, you're afraid of sex. Two, you feel like it's going to be the same feeling that you had when you were raped. We need to hold on to each other for us to heal. Anybody that you know has or is doing this to any young girl, any young child, or any middle-aged woman.
Well, I'll be coming to that. Actually, they just extended our time. Our producer said we can go as far as 7 o'clock. So I think we are 6:05. I'm glad because I knew this topic is going to be. He knows how important this topic is. So, Mrs. Ganda, I'm coming to you. Give me 1 minute, all right? There's a page here in Dr. Josephine's book. I love this one. It's on page 14. It said the secrets of unspoken trauma. Dr. Josephine, I know we are all on this road going. Everybody experienced their own traumas in so many different ways. I know you have the book here, but can you explain a little bit about your own trauma, just like how Khadija was what you went through? Can you just give us a little background of what happened to you and what was your own trauma you were dealing with all these years?
Okay. Sexual assault or abuse against, I'm more focusing on minors, really, when it comes to Sierra Leone. It's been always there. It's an epidemic. I got raped at the age of 7. And I was not alone. There were 2 girls we came out from school, going home. So as every social worker has mentioned education, I cannot underestimate that. We need to educate, not only even the First Lady has brought awareness to the grown-up. We need to educate the children. Talking about the case, Khadija, I agree with everything you said, but we have to start teaching this case at the age of 5. Teaching them about good touch and bad touch. And then there's something, the time I used to work as a social worker, called stranger danger. Yeah. As a little girl, you do not engage with a stranger. You do not talk to people that you do not know. Because that's how my childhood friend and I got raped. Because a stranger approached us for us to render help to him, that he has a load that he cannot carry by himself. He need us to go help him to carry this bag of cassava. So again, talking about education, if we knew what stranger danger means, we would have not engaged that stranger. But we did, innocent children. We thought we are doing what we are taught, respect your elders, render help to somebody who is in need. So we went to render help to this man with his load. What did he do? He raped both my friend and I and left us to die. We are discovered by somebody that came from his farm in the evening. So of course, after a few months later, my childhood friend died from medical complications. So that's why, to me, even when I have written this book and decided to come out, that I think I can be a voice to voiceless women. I can be a voice to women that are holding in secret. So many women have approached me. So many people have called me. And these are women from Sierra Leone, came from Sierra Leone. They are here now. How they were sexually assaulted, how they were raped. So it's not only, Khadija, this didn't happen because of the Civil War. It only became worse in the Civil War. It's been there. It's been rape, sexual assault against women has been always there. So it only became worse. Yeah. So that's why I really, need to see. I was there when the president declared a state of emergency. I think we need to have a clause where the president and the first lady should engage the local leaders, not once every 6 months or once a year, on weekly basis. Local leaders, I'm talking, it's not only elected people, but like clergymen, imams, any leader that has a congregation, imams should have allocated time, at least 5 minutes every Friday in their mosque to sensitize people. DJs on radios, if the president engaged DJs on radios to sensitize people at least once a week for 5 minutes. The local leaders, like the paramount chiefs, meet with their chiefdom once a month. And of course, the members of parliament, when they meet with their constituency together in conjunction with the paramount chiefs, to be addressing their constituency, their chiefdoms. So it's going to take a lot of education. So not only the children, so even the grown-up, just like the first lady is doing. So, and one thing again, really, I wanted to say, when you asked earlier on, what do we want to see happen? What I want to see happen, not only bringing the predators to justice, but family members, they think this is a taboo. It shouldn't be talked about. They need to aware, like, again, when I used to work as a social worker, if the child is a law, if the child reveal sexual assault to you, tell you that somebody has either touched me inappropriately or raped me, you that's going to hide the identity of this person, you should be punished as much as the predator is going to be punished. It should be a crime for the parent too. Once they are aware that if they do not report, if the child reports to you, you have at least 2 days or 3 days to reach to the law enforcement that my child revealed this to me. If you hide it, you should be punished too, just as they doing to the predators.
Right.
So I will yield.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ladipo, for that input. I'm going to pass it on to Madonna. Wanted to say something earlier. Can you tell me what you wanted to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to buttress what Sister Khadija was talking about. Those things that happen to people when they're young and they grow up with it, it's affecting their marriages a lot. Like, people don't want to talk about it, and they don't know if that's what is causing their marriage breakup. But those are the things that are causing it. Because a lot of women have been raped. They grew up being the strong person that they are. They tend not to let anybody take their power from them, because when they come to America now, they know they have power. They know they can work. They know they can make their own money. They know they can buy things of their own choice. They know they can develop themselves. So when they have those things and they know they are strong in those things, it's causing or is making them not to listen or allow anybody to take their power from them. Those are their powers. They're using it against the men now because they know that if I don't want sex, you can't force me. And if I don't want it, I don't want it. But they don't know that it's affecting their marriage. You might have somebody that is good, some people that are good. But because of those things, the past, you hold on to them, is affecting you in your marriage. You'll be like, oh, if I don't want it, why is it forcing me? But you don't know that you even you affecting the other person too, because that's his own feeling. He's expressing it to you, but because of your past, you can't allow it to happen. So those things, it's just, we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. It's very important. And like I said, when I was almost raped that day, thank God for my aunt that saved me. Because I was 12 years old. Somebody that is over 25, how will I fight that person? He's tall, he's strong, in his room, the place is tight. How will I be able to get out? I'm fighting and screaming. Nobody can save me. Only my aunt that hear me out and came out, bars the door and get in. Before I was saved that day. For just milk. Come on, milk.
And I'm sure they didn't do anything after that, right?
No, they victimized. I end up being like castigated. I went to church. Everybody was condemning me because my uncle take a stand to drive him out of the house. So when they take that stand to drive him out of the house, I become the worst person in that whole house, in the whole community. Oh, I let this happen. Oh, I let this person get out of. They take. I almost shut off. Like, I wasn't going to church, because if I go to church, oh, you make this person. Why are you lying? Why are you lying? I don't understand why I should lie about it. So those things are very, very, very important. I know a story too that a young girl was destroyed at the age of 12 years old. And they have a social worker in Sierra Leone that was fighting that case. Do you know what happened? The police came to the guy and told the guy that if you pursue this case, your job is going to be in trouble. Your job is going to be in trouble. The girl is already done. Like when they take her to somebody to look at the girl, to a gynecologist or somebody that can check her, the lady that was checking that girl cried. Because the hold on that girl was too much that she can't stand it. Over food. That's how that girl was getting raped every day. Because that's how I call it, is raped. She was a teenager. The guy that was taking up that case ended up to leave the case because they want him to stop. The community come together because the lady, the mother was selling in the marketplace. The market people came there and told her that, oh, if you pursue this case, I don't think it's going to be good. You know, leave this case. The little girl end up being the one that will grow up like that. It will grow up being destroyed already. Who knows?
Mrs. Ganda, I'm so happy for bringing up this topic about our police, especially in our country, Sierra Leone. Our police, the law enforcement, we already know it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Terrible.
It's terrible. They are not fighting for those that deserve to be fought for. They are only fighting for those who have the money and the power. They are the ones they are fighting for. So as women here, we are all here. I'm going to start with Dr. Ladipo again, because I know you want to push this book all the way to Sierra Leone.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to make sure we push the book. But how are we going to, okay, what is the suggestion that all of us here, starting with you, what do you want the government to do? Or which stand do they, what kind of position do they need to put police officers? Let me just say, do we think they should be in charge of rape cases, or should they develop a separate platform, a separate entity, an institution just for investigating rape cases instead of police officers?
Ms. Musu, I think the president has done a lot of good job on this. I think there is a special investigation unit. Even I was in collaboration with them when I was writing my book. They were very professional. They gave me a lot of tips, statistics. I got my statistics from them. But again, like everybody have said, every speaker here, that education is one. So we can approach the First Lady or the President. We can come up with a booklet, a simple read booklet that can be able to educate not only the community leaders, like I was saying, the DJs, the imams, the clergymen and clergywomen, that, you know, this needs to be announced at least once a week. This should be an ongoing. It's not something that we do every 6 weeks or every 1 year. No, the problem is very serious, very critical in our country. It should be an ongoing sensitization. Education is one, and the engaging the community on, like I said, engaging the community. And then what else? I wrote all these things down. So again, we need money. That's why we're raising funds. There is nothing we can do either here or in Sierra Leone without money. So the t-shirts, all the proceeds for the book and these t-shirts gonna go to money that we can be able to assist people that are being intimidated, so that we can, it can be a legal fees for some to assist these people with legal fees, so that if they know that there is a lawyer or a legal person behind there to go report the case or even stand for them, I think they will start prosecuting a lot of predators in that country. So that is one thing.
I understand what you are saying, Dr. Ladipo, but to me, I think there is sensitization now. There is an sensitization, but I think where the problem is the first responders. The first responders are not doing a great job, especially the police, because I've had so many cases where it's not once, not twice, but I've had about 2 cases where the police are the ones that are messing up the cases. They will take the report to them, but yet they will not take the matter serious. Either they bribe them to keep quiet and don't pursue the case. So to me, I'm pretty sure Sierra Leone is a little advanced now. They're already being sensitized. People already know that, I mean, for the hands of our girls, we have seen a lot of rallies, you know. Even though I see sometimes some men are also making fun, they are saying, stay out of our pockets, you know, or stay out of something like that. They are sensitized. But I think the major problem lies with the first responders and our police. So my question here again, Khadija, the police. Do you think the police really need to handle rape cases in that country?
As it stands, there's always going to be that one rotten fish that will spoil all the fishes in the basket. The police really, I think, first of all, they need to be retrained because they're used to just doing things haphazardly. And now Sierra Leone is getting to a stage where we are awake. We know what's up and we know the ins and outs of things like this. And so there has to be a law put any police or any police station that these agencies that are the people that we report to, I think we should not go straight to the police. There should be agencies in every constituency.
That's right.
That is just there to handle domestic violence, rape, you know, sexual violence and all of that. There should be an agency where something happens in the community, that's where you go. Now, when they have done their investigation, then they take it to the police. Because then right there, you know, it has been recorded, it is in the books. Police cannot throw it under the rug anymore. I think it should be redirected to them first, and then we follow up with the police and then take it to the First Lady's office.
That sounds good. Fatima, how about you? What's your thought in this one?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I agree with Khadija and Dr. Josephine what they said. I think the part where Dr. Josephine said before when she was saying that, like in America here, when somebody report a case to whoever it is, you have to report it. You have to tell whoever the next person is. And if you don't, that person will be in trouble or will answer to the law. And I think it should go the same way as Sierra Leone too. If somebody tells me, like a child come to me and said, hey, my uncle touched me, or this is what happened, my uncle put my underwear down, my underwear down, then I should probably ask more questions and then report it instead of just let it go. My population that I work for right now is mental health and intellectual disability. I'm sorry, because they changed it from mental retardation to intellectual disability. That's the population I work for. And when we receive those reports, if my client come and tells me and said, Fatima, I went to the doctor today, and I told the doctor called me, I'm sorry, if my client go to the doctor and the doctor called me and said, Fatima, your client that you're serving, report to me that her brother touched her. Well, the doctor has that right to report it right away to me, and then I have to investigate right away or put it in the system that we have to report it right away in 24 hours. It depends on the case. So it's the same way I think, like what Khadija said, it should be a department in Sierra Leone. And again, I was born in Sierra Leone, but again, all my education, everything is here. So I don't really know much about the social services system in Sierra Leone. But I think they should have a department like that over there that they can report all these cases. And then before ever a police involvement takes place, because it depends on the type of case, just like here. If it's a minor case, you know, they will say, okay, social services, the government will take care of it. If it's a rape case or a murder case, then they will call the police. Right. So I think like what Khadija said, I'm agreeing with, you know, it's a perfect idea to have a department in Sierra Leone to report all those cases to first. And again, like what Dr. Joseph said, we need money for sure to develop that those type of places in Sierra Leone. And for the police involvement should be, again, the last, and it depends on the type of case, should be the last people that the cases should be included. I mean, they should involve them. But the education part of it, I don't know if there's a way that they can also develop. There's a paper that they use here in America in those type of cases now. They have, it's called the abuse form. I don't know if maybe some of you are aware of that abuse form. Like they show pictures, because you know some kids might not know some of the wording, but if you show them pictures to identify the kind of abuse they experience, they'll be able to show you. So maybe that's something also we can develop for Africa, for Sierra Leone as well, like picture showing. If somebody's pulling your hair like this, it's considered as physical abuse. If somebody is touching you, you know, on your body parts, it's some type of, you know, sexual abuse. So like the different type of abuse, so they will know exactly what they experienced, whoever was trying to touch them in like a different way. So I think that's another form of educating people also in Sierra Leone.
Okay, thank you. Madonna, what's your take on that? The police get involved, or should we have a separate department to handle these cases?
The thing about it is, police can be involved in it, but are the police, some of them, are they social workers? Those are the questions that we need to ask, because some of our police, they just came from high school and came straight to join the police.
They don't know.
So some of them are not social workers. Some of them don't even understand the crisis management in handling those issues. So to say the police can be involved, yes, they have to. Because there are people that need to be taken away the same day. Like if somebody reports a case that, oh, my dad abused me or my uncle abused me, nobody's going to arrest that uncle unless the police will come to the house and arrest that individual. It's not going to take the social worker to come and arrest them. So my question is going to be, if we want the police to be involved, we need to train them, like Sister Khadija say. We need to train them on these social worker issues and behaviors to look out for, and not to just go into the house and somebody report this case to you and then you come back because you don't know anything or you don't know how to deal with it. So you're just going to put it somewhere because you don't even know the effects of it. You're just going to put it somewhere. Okay, like if they call a police that is already an abuser, he's not going to take it serious. He's just going to put it somewhere. He's not going to even report it because he's already an abuser and he knows that if this case continues to go forward, he's going to come out.
Yeah.
So he's not going to report it. He's just going to keep it. So those are the things that we're facing in Sierra Leone. So there's a lot of them in the police force that are really abusers already. Okay. The lawyers, they are abusers already. So when these cases go in front of them, they are not doing anything about it because they know if this continues to go forward, people are going to take their stand. Like, we need education to these people to know that what they're doing is wrong. They had this program that was in Sierra Leone when I was after high school, the UNOMSIL program for kids. They have Teen Talk, they have The Voice, they have all this little kids program. I used to be one of them on the Teen Talk issue. We will go out to most of these prostitutes on the beach and we go out to them. You will not imagine that most of them join those things, not because they want to join it, but it's already breaking their own taboo. They already break it. They already break it. So all they know is how to survive now from that part. Right. So those things, we need to teach them, like, this is not okay. It's not. So education is good, and education is good in all departments. The police, the lawyers, all these people need to know that these abusers, they can't go scot-free. They need to be brought forward.
Doctors too. The medical
doctors, everybody needs to be involved in this. And we need money. We really need money. And that's why I even joined this podium, because that's my goal. And I'm happy that we all here have the same goal, because it's very, 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 very ridiculous in that country.
You are raising your hands. What's
this is a very serious matter. Yes, we do need money. It is important we have the money. But then my issue is, just like how you said, Madonna, with the police officers. Mm-hmm. The reason why I say these people need to be retrained, and you nip it right in the butt. Half of these people are abusers as well. In Africa, when you have some kind of little power, you think you're on top of the world. And you use that power to suppress the people around you, the community, and all of that. My message out there is stating, you as a leader, a minister, because trust me, even them is one or two. That is that. Mm-hmm. When I come to you, give me a pen, not a penis.
Right.
Yeah. No, seriously. When I ask you, Uncle, Mr. Minister, you tell me come to my office. When I ask you for help for my education, give me a pen, not a penis.
Right. They have been doing it.
When I ask you for food, don't go down on me. Give me actual money. Because when we go to these people to ask for help, then they're like, okay, I have the perfect opportunity. You want something from me? Give me something too.
Yes.
So we have to knock on the doors of every one of these individuals. It has happened to me. I mean, even pastors has verbally abused me. Say, put the camera down, let me see your chest. It is happening every day. You have no idea how indecent some people can be. So with Auntie Josephine writing her book, trying to push this forward, for not only her voice to be heard, but the voice of the voiceless, those that have come out, she wants us to come out as a united front.
Yes.
To say, hands down, get off my breast, get off my pee-pee. Because when we say training, basically, these agencies, my concern is the infrastructure that is being put in place for all this. I mean, the president cannot do everything. We, Sierra Leonean, we are the people.
Yes.
Half of us in Sierra Leone have been fortunate to come to the States, and we have seen and we have learned. Let us take the good from being here, from being educated here, from our life's journey, our experiences, and let's go home and instill the good, not the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because you and I can talk about it, but then if we don't actually go on the grounds where it's actually happening, we're just talking.
Yeah, it's true.
We're just talking. So, cut long story short, we are starting to raise funds. We're starting to get the money by actually Auntie Josephine selling her book.
Yes.
And we are going to ask, for those of you that believe in this course, we're starting a pledge of $100. I am pledging $100, not because of the book, but because I want to save somebody's life.
Thank you, Khadija.
If we have 50 people that will say, I pledge $100. We have another 50 that say, I pledge 50. We have another 50 that says, I pledge 25. Trust me, we're making a headway to register an organization that is written document that we are women that stand for enough is enough. Rape is a state of emergency. And so we are here tonight to call for that help.
Thank you.
I think next time when we're doing this, we have to open the Zoom so we have actual people on there that will pledge and will take their information. But please watch out, whoever messages you, Auntie Musu or anybody, to pledge.
They can still do it. Hamjat is at the producer is at the back there. If anyone wants to pledge, they can directly call Sierra Cast TV, and he will make sure he do that for us. I trust him. You know, I definitely trust him. But there is another question. Okay.
How much is the book?
On Amazon is $22.
22.
On Amazon.
That's on Amazon, but for here tonight, we are dealing with pledges.
Okay.
$22.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for here tonight, we're doing pledges. So I'm sure times are hard. Corona has made things bitter for us, but this is for a good cause, and we can, let's not put it on Corona. Let us support the movement.
And while we are talking about money, I want to say thanks to all my SLPP brothers and sisters. They've been really on board with this. There is a Zoom meeting coming on the 27th. Every woman, from yesterday, they just sent in the price for the package, the price for the book, and the T-shirt. And I'm seeing some of my brothers on Facebook. They've already ordered for the book at Amazon, reading the book. So I have really got support from my political party. But again, when it comes to sexual assault, this is not political issue in Sierra Leone. This is national issue.
Yes.
This is national issue. Like I said, if you have a daughter, if you have a mom, if you have a niece, if you have boys, you don't have a girl, but those boys are going to have children. You're going to have granddaughters. We all need to put hands on deck for this serious issue. This is a national crisis, a national issue. It's not SAPP, APC, C4C, NGC. No, it's a national issue. So we're pleading to all Sierra Leone nationals to join us in this effort.
Okay, there's one time I know I posted something about sexual abuse, and a lady came on board and made a comment about somebody very prominent, and I saw a lot of people, especially women. Most of the time when a woman come out to say something, majority of the backlash comes from us women. And especially
because they're hiding in the closet.
Especially if it involves somebody prominent. So Dr. Josephine, this book, as we are pushing it, there's something again I want to make sure everybody here and our viewers to know. We have a lot of people who are prominent people in every political party who one way or the other had committed sexual violence against a woman. My question here is, should there be a background check? Should there be a background check on especially those who we are electing? I don't care if you APC, SLPP, NGC. Should there be, just like here, you know, should these people, if somebody come out and accuse somebody who has been a prominent person, should they prosecute them?
Of course, nobody is above the law.
Exactly.
Nobody is above the law. Speaking of this,
because it's not happening, you know, they're always protecting prominent.
It is happening, and I think it's high time we stop doing this thing where we are covering people up. Because guess what? If the table turn around, nobody's covering you up.
Yes.
There was an incident that happened where Ambassador Rikana was sharing with us. She's a medical doctor. Now, a young girl was raped by her father. And this father, in return, sat down, taught her sons how to rape their sister.
What?
So all this girl's life, all through her life, from the age of 7, this girl has been raped every single day until she turned 18 by her father and her brothers. Now, when she went for her routine checkup and they asked her, are you sexually active? Are you this? And then she smiled like calmly, like it's okay. And said, the only person that I've ever slept with is my father and my brothers. Imagine stuff like this. It's not funny. Because to this girl, the father has made it seem like it's okay. I have every right to do what I'm doing to you, and so does your brothers. And he sits there comfortably, watching them do this to his own child after he has done it. And the girl actually says she prefers having sex with her father than any man. Mentally, you have disturbed this child. Her life will never be the same. So to answer your question, Auntie Musu, whether you're a president, you're a minister, you are my father, my grandfather, you will be dealt with.
Mrs. Kamara, what's your thought?
You know, it's easily said and done. All those things sounds they sounds very good, but you know, it's not visible. Knowing, I'm just being realistic here. I'm just being realistic. Thinking about where I came from. So they say money talks, bullshit walk. If you don't have money to fight all these powerful people, you will just be wasting. I'm sorry, I don't want to be pessimistic. I want you guys to understand this. But again, I don't want to just be saying something and I know it's not going to happen. That's what I talked about earlier on about intimidation. When these poor people go and report the case, and then they intimidate them, the police or the law enforcement intimidate them, and then they go, they will not return. So for me, as much as we want to do well, but let's be realistic. Let's be realistic here. So talking about raising funds and get a legal team where when these people are going to report any sexual, alleged sexual abuse, it's just a phone call to tell our legal team that there is somebody going to report. Can you be present in the police station? Stop this intimidation. Let them start exposing. Yeah, they're going to start exposing then. If you are a big man, if you are somebody with a high status, and then your identity is exposed, the shame is so, it's not only the woman or the girl that's going to be embarrassed, you're going to be humiliated too. But guess what? With the money, this is where they bind the law enforcement. They bind the police. They report the case, it's just a one phone call. They talk to them, and then that person will not even call them again. The case will just be shoved under any of the files in the office.
You are quite right, Dr.
So some of these things is easily said and done, but again, let's take it one at a time. I know nobody is above the law. I agree, but we have to be realistic here. Well, I'm just talking about where I'm talking about where I came from. Okay, let's be realistic. Let's do not compare oranges to mangoes. This is America, and that is Africa. So deal with the way the situation is over there, and here we can transfer, but not everything going to be transferred to Africa. So let's be realistic in our venture.
All right, yeah, that's so true. I know we cannot compare America to Africa. Yeah. You know, it's so true. Over there, who knows you? You can have all the voice, and if somebody is in power who has that power, your case is not going to get nowhere. We already know that, but it's a baby step, and I believe coming together as survivors, because all I am pushing for right now is people to come out. We need more people. We want to break the silence. This is the breaking taboo. We want to break the silence. If a mother come out, like now my daughter here, she's 15, she knows this is my song every day in this house. So she knows. If I had kept quiet, she wouldn't have known what was going on with me. And I'm so happy that we are coming out. Now, our sister Sharon wants to leave, but before you leave, there's one question I want you to leave. We'll be wrapping up very soon. What is your advice to, especially parents? What is your final thoughts, and what is your advice to our listeners and parents and everybody out there? What's your final thought?
Well, my final thought for advice to parents is, I think, I believe it was Khadija or it was Madonna or it was Janet, I think. Being in the field, you have, like the social workers, we know, we observe like signs for a kid who has been, or who is going through any type of abuse. So it's the same thing with the parents. Please, please, listen to your kids. Don't just take them for granted. Listen to them, and when they come home, like I believe it was Khadija that says it. When my son come home, as soon as he walks in, how was your day? I know when he's sad. I know when there's something wrong with, there's something going on with him. I know when he's happy. So you have to know your kid. You have to listen to your kids. You have to know body language, because that's what in the social work field they teach you. That's one of the the things they teach you to know about body languages. So it's the same thing with your kid. You have to know the body language of your children, your kids. Listen to them. Don't just ignore them. Then the other thing is, especially us Africans, we like to put our kids, or when uncle come sit on my lap. No, that gotta stop. You can't have your kid, especially girls, sitting on your lap, because that's where it starts. Having your little girl to sit on uncle's lap. No. And I know that's an African thing. I know that because when I was younger, I went through the same thing. Hey, uncle is here. What they do? They lift you up, put it on their lap. No, that gotta stop nowadays. That's also another sign. And also, if your kid is quiet, and you know your kid is a very talkative child, and one day they just like mute, just they're not the same. They're always in their room instead of with the family. You have to ask them questions. What's going on? You know, a kid who is very active and they just stop being active, that's a sign. So you have to study your kid. You have to study your kids. And that's just my advice to the parents, especially African parents. Please listen to your kids. Listen to them when they talk. Don't ignore them. Don't tell them they're lying. Don't tell them, oh, you're just making up story, or you just want to get away with things, or you just don't want to go to bed, or you just don't, you just want me to get you this. No, they're telling you something. We see this every single day. Like what Janet said, she works in with kids. I work with intellectual disability population, with kids from 5 until 78 years old. That's my population I work with. We see signs, not just sexual abuse, but all type of abuse. And we see it every single day. So please just study your kids' body language when they come home from school or anywhere, even sleepovers. Sleepovers is a big thing too when it comes to kids. So when they come home, the way you sent your kid when he was leaving or she was leaving, when they're coming back, study them. If something happened to them, they're not coming back the same way. They're definitely not.
Thank you.
So please, that's my advice to all parents.
Thank you very much.
And I have to excuse myself. I'm sorry, guys. Gotta be somewhere at 7 o'clock. I'm already late. So
yeah, thank you. We are wrapping up. And again, our viewers, before we wrap up, I want to encourage you all. This is the book. It's in Amazon for $22. I have mine, and I'm still I'm reading it bit by bit because it's so interesting. I don't want to finish it in a day. You know, when somebody is telling your story, it's so interesting. So this book, she already told me, Musu, this book, every proceed is going to help every all children or women who are still sitting silent. The book is going to help abused children, women, men. So I encourage everyone, please make sure you go to Amazon and buy the book. If you cannot, call me or text me or go to Sierra Cast TV. We are going to leave all the information there. And about donations, please, pledges, we encourage everyone, if you want to pledge or donate anything towards the book, because it's money. Everything is money, especially to fight pandemic in Africa. It needs money, and we cannot leave everything to the government. The government cannot do everything for us. No, they cannot. So I am pleading to all my viewers and my panel members here. We all have platforms. Please make sure you share the information about the book and invite your friends, encourage your friends to pledge whatever they have towards the book. If they buy the book, it's a plus. If they buy the t-shirt, it's a plus. But any donation, we can leave the information on the board. And before we go, I know we only have 4 more minutes. Before we go, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to start with Mrs. Ganda. What's your final thoughts and what can you leave us? This, we will come back again because we are not finished yet. This topic will never be done. We can't finish this topic. But for today, what's your final thought about the topic to parents and everyone?
To parent, like I said before, know your child. I'm telling you, it's always good to know your child. When I came to America, people talk about my child the way she's not. And people condemn your child. They say, oh, this child is not going to be a good child. She'll go up and be this person and be that person. Today, I don't miss anything having that child. I am so grateful that God gave me a perfect child that nobody can take from me. So know your child. And don't go ahead and condemn your child easily, because the Bible even said it. The tongue has the power of life and death. Whatever you speak about your child is what is going to happen. So always portray a good image to your child. Always name your child in positive things. Name them in positive things. Even if you see that they're going the wrong way, try to pronounce good things about them. Never talk about them negatively. It's not good. Then nobody tell you that your child is this, your child is that. It's only God that has that opportunity to say that. Nobody does. Because some of them keeping their child in their houses and they condemning your child and you're accepting it. Don't do that. Know your child. Every day I'm saying it to parents. Know your child. And secondly, we start with a baby step. Yes. And we need to keep pushing. We need lawyers. We need women lawyers that have gone through this issue that will be able to stand up with a fight. Because it's a fight.
Bibles.
It's a fight. So we need women lawyers. We need women social workers. We need all those people to come together. It's a baby step, but it's a fight. And one Nigerian movie that I watched, they told the lady that the lady is not going to be able to be a governor in that particular state because she's not from that state. But she only married to somebody that was from the state. They went ahead and they set them up, she and her husband. So they make the man, the husband as a politician to fight against his own wife. The lady did not give up. She kept fighting, she kept fighting, she kept fighting. At the end of the day, the man ended up giving the power to the lady.
Yes.
It wasn't a small fight, it was a serious fight. So like I said, if we have first lady that is coming up and saying sexual abuse is a thing that she want to fight, she needs to fight through it and not be accepting or talking about it. And then when they go to the corner or to somewhere, because my husband has to be a politician, or my husband has to campaign the next time to be a president, so I'm going to shut up. No, that's not your goal. Your goal is to keep fighting. Yes. And the women that are voting for these people need to come out and say, this is our criteria. We need to set it to the bar. We need to have this and we need to fight through it. The women that are without a woman, you can't win. In Sierra Leone, women are majority. So if we're voting for you, we need to give you criteria. We need to know what we're voting for. This is our criteria. If that happens, all those men that are on that politician power or they have those seats, they're gonna bow down to us. Yes. It's a fight. It's a baby step. We need it, but we need to keep fighting. It's a fight that's not gonna start today. It's not gonna end today. It's not gonna even end in our own generation, maybe. But it's a fight that will start, and we should keep pushing.
Yes, Janet, what's your thought? Unmute yourself.
I am unmuted.
Okay, now we hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay. Like I was saying before, like Auntie Josephine said, it's really, really complicating when you look at the governments that we're dealing with, you know, the system that we have in Sierra Leone. Systems were not put in place to fight against such things. Mm-hmm. So it makes it really hard for the police to follow through, the social workers in Sierra Leone to follow through, or mental health, or the health sector to follow through, because they don't even know what to do. Right. There are no rules, there were no criteria, rules put in place. Mm-hmm. So my number one thing, you know, to sum up is the government from the top, the government has to put in place things that they want to see happen. Once these things are put in place, and then also education, like someone mentioned, I think, putting, you know, using brochures, passing out brochures at different establishments, just kind of leaving it there. Maybe translating, getting someone who can translate in different languages, different dialects, to teach the local people, those that do not understand Creole or even English, teaching them, explaining to them what sexual abuse is and the signs to look out for, what non-consensual sex is and all of that, or non-consensual touch is, educating them, the parents, the teachers, those that deal with the career people that deal with kids, just teaching them. I believe with education, it will make a huge difference. Because if I am educated, I would know that in as much as we say, sometimes they will say, oh, you wanted it, or it's because of the way you're dressed. Sometimes, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Ignorantly or unknowingly, like Auntie Josephine mentioned, you would offer to do something for someone without even thinking or knowing that, oh, if I put myself in this position, it's likely to happen. Okay. In as much as I'm not asking for it, but because I am in that environment, it's likely to happen. But if we're educated, we can start protecting ourselves first, and then look to the law, and then ask the government and say, okay, so what can you guys do next? And even the parents, these things are happening to children in their homes, their own children, by family members, they cover it up. I mean, I don't understand how can a parent do that to their own child? I don't understand that. I cannot understand that. Because for me, someone mentioned about sleepovers. Sleepovers are something my kids don't do. I don't even encourage sleepovers. I'm like, if you have any friend, let them come over instead. But you would not sleep over at anybody's house. I don't even encourage my kids calling every Jack and Jill uncle. Because the minute they start calling them uncle, they become complacent and get so used to them and put their guards down. If they're not your blood relatives, don't call them uncle. Call them Mr. or something else.
Thank you.
Because I know that happens a whole lot in our African environment community. We call everyone uncle. Before you think uncle is touching you, uncle is doing this. Uncle, you said you're my uncle, so why are you doing this?
Right.
You understand? There has to be a boundary. If you're not my uncle, if you're not my relative, I have no business calling you uncle.
That's true.
So we have to really educate our children.
Thank you.
I don't know. Is there any sector in Sierra Leone that handles such cases? Because the question you asked before, the question that was asked before, as far as should the police, be involved criminally, yes, but in these police, they themselves don't even understand. They don't even know what to do as far as sexual abuse cases. So if something like that is reported, these people they should be instructed, or they should know the channel of reporting. Instead of going to the police, there has to be a sector, an agency where they can go to. Now, once they go there, then they can alert the police to arrest that person. Because we all know when the police is involved first, there's some type of intimidation. Some people do not want to involve with the police.
Well, they said they have a rainbow in Bowtown is a sector.
Okay.
Yeah, they have rainbow where rape cases are all reported. So I don't know for Freetown, but in Bow there's rainbow, and they have one commit an act. They are there, but
they have the family unit in the police that is responsible for those cases too.
Yeah, and really drastic measures, drastic punishments have to be put in place for such individuals that commit, it's a crime. It's a huge crime against the abusers, against their body, it messes them up for life.
Yeah.
It really, really messes them up.
That's why we're here. Khadija, thank you so much, Janet, for coming. Don't go yet.
No problem. Thank you too for having me.
Time is running out on us before they. So time is running out now. Khadija, 1 minute. Just tell us what your final thoughts.
My final thought is we should keep speaking up, and this thing of saying, with all due respect, this thing of saying when you want something, when you're gearing towards something, the moment you start that journey, you should be able to also consider the stumbling blocks that comes with the journey that you're about to take. With me, most of the time, people that know me will call me, oh, she's radical. Yes, I'm radical, because when I say this, it is this, and whatever storm is thrown at me, I'm able and I'm ready to stand and withstand it and fight. this thing that we say, yes, let's take baby steps by getting to the basics, but I really don't believe or agree. Yes, there's power, but we women also have to know that you are a goddess. There's nothing, we hold the power. So when women come together and said, enough is enough,
Yep.
whether you have how many $billion stashed somewhere, I am coming for you.
Yep.
You can throw me in jail. This is what the Winnie Mandela and all these people, they went through stuff. So if we are women that say we are coming out, we're speaking up, enough is enough. We don't want our generations to go through what we have been through. Then we should be able to withstand the storm that is going to want to blow us out.
That's right.
And so, yes, that's what I believe in. Everybody else will think of it differently. But when you say, I want to do stuff in life, these are the principles. I want this, but then this is holding me back. When you put the button, you have stopped yourself completely from even starting the fight, because you're thinking, oh, Joseph is gonna blow me with breeze. This one is gonna blow me with this. That one is gonna blow. No, bring it on.
That's true.
And so I close out with saying thank you. Let us sensitize ourselves. If the schools that we get in contact with, the high schools, the middle schools, girls go to boys' schools, tell that message. Boys, you bring them to the girls' schools, we preach that message. We are teaching both the boys and the girls because the boys go through it as well. Let us speak up. Let us sensitize ourselves, our mothers, our sisters, our children, whoever, whatever. Because when we sensitize, just as we're bringing the women together, let us also drag the men with us. Let them sit in our meetings. Let them feel our pains as we tell our stories. That's the only way out.
Yes. Yes.
We cannot do it and leaving them out. No, we have to bring them in.
Definitely. We need them here. Yeah.
We need to bring them in. I'm not fighting this fight by myself. You're my father, you're my brother, you're supposed to be my protector, not my prey.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not my attacker, sorry. You're supposed to protect me, don't attack me.
Yes.
I am not the enemy here.
Yes.
So just as we are sensitizing and speaking out as women, let us also bring our brothers in and say, bro, this is what I'm going through. Daddy, this is what I'm going through. I need you to quit it. I love you. You are the head, but I need you to stop.
Yes. Yes.
I rest my case.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Dr. Ladipo, final thoughts?
My final thought is to thank you all for coming forward. This is what we are about. We want to encourage, inspire other women to come forward. Like you said, the louder we speak, the more women that's going to come forward, then we'll be more productive and effective. There is this African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. So we need more women to join us. To the parents, I want to tell them that they should not relent. Do not give up. Even though you go through obstacles, intimidations, if your child is sexually molested, continue asking for help, continue reporting, continue going back to the law enforcement. So that's how I will end up. We need more women to join us.
Thank you very much. Thank you to our viewers. Thank you, my beautiful ladies today. You were awesome. Very awesome. I know I'm going to sleep well again today, because each time I see women coming together, especially talking about sexual abuse, is something that I went through and I'm still dealing with it. Sometimes I feel like I got over it. Sometimes I feel like, oh, Musu, don't be angry. But some days I really cry myself to sleep. I really cry myself to sleep. And each time I hear about another abuse, it opens up my wound. This is why when they say, oh, get over it, happened a long time ago. No, we can't get over it. Because as long as it's happening every day, we cannot get over it. So I thank my viewers today for coming in and I really encourage everyone again to go back, search for the book on Amazon. It's Father's Vision for Women's Empowerment. Father's Vision for Women's Empowerment. We're going to leave the information on site, Sierracast TV. And thank you very much for my producer, Amjad. You did great. I think he knew that we need more time. So he said, I'm going to give you up to 7 o'clock. So thank you very much, Amjad, for doing that for us. And Sierracast TV, go in there, viewers, and try to like that page, because we are going to be coming there all the time. All right, and I thank you very much for your support and your topics and your inputs. Text us, and we need to hear from you. We need to hear everyone's views in this one, and we need suggestions too. Thank you very much, and bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. 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 Bye.